Welcome back, guys. My name's Alex. That's Eileen. And you guys are watching and listening to Straight to the Chicane podcast, where we talk about the F1 races that just happened. We were in Spa, Eileen.
We were. Well, that was fast.
It was. Does it make you feel good? Because I'm excited because it was like a big weekend. It's a news that had broken, and it's the first time we got back with Christian Horner.
Well, it also has been 3 weeks since the last race.
Yeah. So I am excited a little bit. But how have you been? How was your little break, a little pre-summer break, as we will call it?
I know. It felt like it was supposed to be summer break. It was good. It was good. There was still IndyCar and things to, I guess, keep the motorsport people going.
Yeah.
It was also your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you, belated. Yes, appreciate that. 1 year older, I guess.
Yeah. You celebrated your birthday with Spa.
I did. It was, I enjoyed at least the first third of the race.
Which one? The sprint or?
The main race. The sprint, that's a different story.
Yes.
We can get into that a little bit. And you can help me refresh my memory on that whole one.
It could have been an email.
Exactly.
We were back in Spa for a sprint weekend this year. We hadn't been here, but we have had a sprint in the past, but 2 years ago. And I don't think it was great. We can talk about sprint races because there's more to unpack there for the 2026 calendar as well.
Right. So, speaking of Spa, speaking of all that,
this is your favorite track. This is your favorite race.
I love this track. I do. I think it's challenging. The drivers all love it. But it is going to be on a rotational
It is, yes.
schedule from here on out. And if it continues to be rainy and everything, I heard him say it. Who knows to say if they ever come back? Because it wasn't last year, but the year before, rain delayed hours.
That was many years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
That was 2021.
2021. Wow, man, time flies. I don't know what to tell you.
Yes. Where we sat for 4 hours and they got
that was 4 years?
Yes.
Wow, time does fly.
Time flies.
I thought that felt like only 2 years ago.
That's why everybody has PTSD when they come to Spa and it says it's going to rain because
it does.
We watched 3 laps under the safety car, half points, rain delay for 4 hours in 2021.
Oh, yeah, it's been that long. Wow.
Yes. Crazy.
I'm glad you got a better memory than me.
How can I forget anything from 2021?
But yeah, so a lot of things we wanted to get into and talk about with Spa and possibly in its like upgrades. McLaren had some, I think I heard. I know Red Bull brought upgrades, and I know Ferrari was doing some changing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, excited to be back. 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it always feels like an eternity. We're, obviously on a doubleheader now, and then we go to summer break. So, one more race, then it's summer break. There was a lot, I think, coming into a lot of excitement around what was going to happen, but a lot of drama. So I think, the biggest news, of course, was Christian Horner is gone. For the first time ever, Red Bull is coming into a race weekend without Christian Horner.
Ever.
Yep.
And I think new leadership looked good, went well.
Was it ironic that all of a sudden Yuki gets to Q3 for the first race weekend without Christian Horner?
But did he race well?
No.
Okay.
But listen, I feel like anytime you have a rain type of situation, you either really win and work out well or it doesn't work in your benefit. It's not like he crashed or did anything. I think he just
struggles in the wet.
Yeah, maybe.
Setting up his tires. Maybe that's true. I don't know that answer. I haven't followed Yuki enough in depthly to know.
I know. It's like we followed Yuki so well at Racing Bulls and AlphaTauri and all the other names that it's had. And since he's been at Red Bull,
he's just kind of, because he's been so far in the back that he hasn't been able to really shine, whether he's had a good race or not.
Yeah. I'm just glad that, obviously he's not getting 2 races and then being pulled back. So
yeah. He's got till the end of the season for what we know.
Yes. Thoughts on Christian Horner getting sacked?
Since we haven't really talked about it, because last podcast we didn't talk about it, did we?
We did not, because it hadn't happened yet.
See? That's right, because that's how fast this news happens.
It happened. It was like breaking news. First of all, I just woke up. You know when you wake up and it's like you glance at your phone, but you're still kind of asleep. It's dark. It's the middle of the night. You don't really know what's going on. I get the Formula One alerts. And I'm like, whoa, wait. And I think I woke you up and was like, Christian Horner exits immediately, effective immediately. And I'm like, okay, I have a lot of feelings. After all of Christian Horner, after the whole controversy around Christian Horner last year, full-blown investigation, all sorts of chaos, you know, the file that got dropped to everybody in the paddock, doesn't lose his job. Team starts not performing. Max might be leaving, going to Mercedes.
I mean, lots of drama for multiple years, and he fended it off.
He did. He always has.
He thwarted and swatted and
I mean, I think for me, there's, you know, two things that a lot of pressure around. Is Max going to leave Red Bull? And was this the deciding factor in order for him to stay? I mean, Jos Verstappen was asking for Christian to resign last year.
He was. And they probably were doing he was probably doing everything in his power to find other places to go or get him out of there.
And so there's this big media speculation about Max and is he going to, you know, Mercedes? And then all of a sudden Christian's fired. We all know that Ford is obviously coming in next year. They weren't happy last year with the whole Christian Horner drama saga. So could that be the reason too? We don't really even know too much of what's going on. Last time I checked, like a week ago, Christian hadn't even updated his Instagram profile. Hopefully he did now.
He's on summer break fully, officially.
Yes.
But he did say that he has a role still somewhere in Red Bull, so it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere else. He probably has a clause in a payout that he can't really go anywhere, maybe. We'll see about that. But, you know, he brings a little bit of drama with him and some controversy. So I don't know if that's even worthy of having him there. Although we see other people.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, you do have to recognize he did do a lot. I mean, they won a lot of races.
They did.
He did change an energy drink team that came into the sport.
I mean, he was a motorsport guy thoroughbred. He did race regardless of how far he went in racing. He did race. He loved the sport. And he teamed up with the energy drink, and he made it over 20 years.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with any of that. So how do I feel? I feel like it was time because, again, he was dealing with some drama that was kind of taking him away from the top of the team. And then we already saw he lost a bunch of key engineers, key people in the background because of all this other drama, right?
I mean, we don't know that, but one to speculate.
Yeah,
and the foundation has been crumbling for some time.
It has, and so I was asking people that are fellow F1 fans. I was asking the question: so does this mean Max stays, or is Max still going? Because we've heard all the rumors to Mercedes.
Listen,
we saw that the plane trip with Toto Wolff landed in the
like, we can't just go on vacation in like the same places,
right? And they seen not getting on the plane and all these kind of things. So sure, there was probably some conversations. Who doesn't have that? We all know it goes down. The rodeo happens in that world. So let me ask you straight up, do you think Max stays or goes?
I think this solidified Max staying.
I think that's the real answer. I think that's probably correct.
I think that, you know, it was really split. Like, I did a poll on Instagram and it was like probably 50-50. Like, Max, this is for sure a done deal. Max is leaving. Obviously, he's been struggling with the car too, but, you know, just we'll see what happens. But I think this was like, we are struggling. The car's not, you know, great in a great place. There needs to be some type of a change. And, you know, I think that Max is going to stay. I
think, honestly, deep down, that's probably the correct answer. I would like to see Max go.
I know, it would really shake something. It would be fun. I'm not.
And then I guess I wouldn't be surprised, and I won't be surprised that if he does go somewhere and gets out of his contract. It's a lot of money to get out of his contract, and these teams have to pay a lot.
Yeah.
So it would require some outside of the allotted cap that they're in. So they would need outside sponsorship money to fund all that and all that stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, though, it's like, you know, Max is Red Bull. He's been there his whole career. It's like Lewis leaving Mercedes. It would be back-to-back years with some craziness. But, you know, coming into Spa, obviously there was a lot of speculation around Horner. It was the first race coming in. There was also the speculation around the Max going to Mercedes thing. And Toto was like, we're invested in our lineup and we're thinking, you know, this is where the direction we're going to go. We're going to stay with our drivers. Is that just to like calm the press? we saw Lewis last year get questioned about going to Ferrari when the rumors started, and then everyone was like, no. He was like, no, and then he dropped the bomb. So things can definitely change. I mean, there's still a half of a season left.
Yeah, I mean,
and no announcements.
Look, we don't know the insides of each team dynamics as far as where the future of the cars are going, because we are getting all new regulations, new engines, all kinds of new things are happening here within next year and the year after, right? So they know, Max knows more than we do about where things are happening, who's got the best thing. So I mean, it's still to be determined, but I think he is going to stay.
Before Christian left, Silverstone race weekend, team principals interview. He's asked about the engine, and he said it would be an embarrassment if Mercedes was better than us in the engines for 2026. And that's like the direction that it's looking like it's going to be.
Correct.
That Red Bull's behind.
Well, Red Bull decided last year, the year before, I guess, man, time does fly, that they wanted to build their own engines and step away from Honda, right? Because they're no longer going to be Honda. They're no longer Honda. They are now transforming over to Ford, but they're
Red
still
Bull powertrain.
But with the Red Bull engine that they've used off of a Honda motor from like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
And not only that, I think the next snarky comment was, what's going to happen if Max leaves? And he was like, well, I'd go after Oscar Piastri. He just seemed like, I mean.
He joked. That was jokingly, clearly.
Of course.
But yes.
Yes, of course. I mean, no real plan. Like, if things fall apart, who knows what we're going to do type of mentality. So.
And look how the second seat's been going, too, to be completely honest. Like, it hasn't been great for Yuki or Liam or whoever the hell was before them and all them. It's just been
and Pierre and Carlos and
I mean, Carlos, if you look at it, Carlos was probably the best seat to sit because he has honestly the most fortitude and can drive just about any vehicle that's on the road. He's been behind every single motor that's then been on Formula One. You know, he's got the most latitude as far as drivability.
Should you just put Alonso there next year?
You think Alonso's gonna make it till next year?
Yeah, I mean, he's fully vetted and that he's going to be there.
I wonder what you guys think. I sure, but man, this team struggles. That Aston Martin team struggles, man.
They do, but do they have a lot of good things coming? They have Adrian Newey.
I know.
They have an all brand new wind tunnel.
I hope to be standing corrected next year.
Do they have the right driver lineup? Not really sure. Yeah. Probably not. So,
anyways. We're off a tangent. We got to get back to Spa.
We do. We're still in Spa.
Are we?
Yes, we are. So, okay. Well, I mean, let's talk about the sprint race. Let's talk about sprint races.
Well, first off, going into the weekend, I want to say one last thing is weather-wise, we get all these alerts. It's raining.
We get all this speculation.
It's going to
rain every day.
Every day. And it may have rained earlier in the day that day or later in the day.
They may have thought about raining. There may have been a cloud.
It rained on Thursday. It may have been a rainy day on Friday, but it didn't rain during practice and it didn't rain during qualifying for the sprint race.
Yes.
Right. So it was dry. And it was a little frustrating for me because I'm always rooting deep down for Lewis.
We're die hard.
I got it. I'm gonna dive right in. Why not? We're already in 15 minutes. Why not?
If this is your first podcast episode and you haven't been with us for the last several years, we're diehard Lewis fans. We like the sport. We love Lewis.
We do like Lewis. We want Lewis. I would like to see Lewis do well at Ferrari, and I think a lot of other people do. Look, at the end of the day, I like all the drivers other than maybe Lance Stroll can go, and because they're just not performing the best and things like that. Other than that,
right. So where you're going with this?
Anyway, so qualifying
for the sprint
race. Thank you. We had some out of bounds spots, and we had some times get kicked. And Lewis was one of them at the very end.
He's talking about qualifying. You're talking about qualifying for the race.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, no. I am.
I mean, we can talk about both of them. Lewis had a shit weekend in general. Qualifying was not his forte.
Oh, no. He spun.
I
am getting that mixed up. You're right. So, anyways, he did spin.
It was a tough weekend for Lewis and Lewis fans. Okay, so yes, we're trying not to remember the multiple moments where he got knocked out, in the qualifying session, the first qualifying session.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend, and I tried to forget it. So, excuse me for forgetting exactly the order of things. Yeah, he spun. I kind of just was at work that day because it was a Friday still here, and I just threw the phone. I was like, shit.
Same. I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, he's on a good lap. He's on a good lap. And it was like always like sector 1 wasn't great. And then all of a sudden it was like he was spinning. Kimi Antonelli, same thing. Bad weekend, you know? It was like Lewis and Kimi were like together. Like they're just everything that they did from a qualifying perspective was challenging. But Lewis spun in SQ1 out.
Yes.
Qualifying, lap time deleted. He was P4, lap time deleted. Out in Q1.
Yep.
So from a qualifying session, Lewis put on a good show for us though on Sunday. We will say that, but
Yeah, and if it would have stayed wetter longer, maybe he would have gotten closer, further up the road. But yes, yeah. So qualifying for the sprint race, he did terrible, and there was a couple other people that were out early. It was even like, I believe it was Aston Martin too, where
that was qualifying.
Again, 17. Man, I'm getting that confused too. Dang it.
It's okay. It was a lot of qualifying this weekend.
It was. Anyway, so it was dry, and tell me more because apparently I don't remember.
Oscar Piastri was on pole by almost half a second.
Do you remember that?
Almost half a second for qualifying, sprint qualifying. You know, McLaren's looked far above, you know, the rest of the pack, I think, all weekend. And then Ferrari was looking good from a pace perspective. And then, of course, you can't count out Max Verstappen. But Oscar was on sprint pole by almost half a second, which is crazy. Now, this is the longest lap of the year. And I feel like when you're watching qualifying, it's like, it's a minute and 40 seconds. And they're like on those laps, it feels like for freaking 5 minutes. Because obviously warm-up lap, cool-down lap, there's all this stuff. It definitely feels like it's more stressful and they get less laps in. Like you saw some qualifying sessions where they only did 1 lap.
Yeah. I mean, and they were pushing to get the 2 out of it. Correct.
Yeah.
Well, but for qualifying during the sprint race, you have less time than qualifying for the regular race. So
yeah.
It was even more scrambling, and there probably was only the 1 lap, you know. Right.
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, you said it, obviously everyone who doesn't know, it's like not good to be on pole in Spa.
Yeah, you're right. You're out the deer. I mean, wet or dry, it doesn't really matter because of the slipstream up the hill, and there's just no way. Yeah, I mean, you have to be so clean, and you have to be as fierce as Max or as fierce as some other drivers used to be, right? To even try to keep somebody behind you during that first lap. And what we saw was Oscar Piastri kind of got caught up a little bit during the race, and that's why, or the sprint race, that's why Max was able to pass him pretty easily. Same spot. It was the same spot that happened during the regular race.
I don't think he got caught up. I think he just didn't have it. He didn't have a slipstream.
Well,
both the McLarens got passed in the sprint race.
Well, yes, they did.
And it was kind of cool because the overhead or the drone or whatever it was, I think it was the heli shot.
Probably the heli shot, more than likely.
It was a Charles and Max overtake at the same time into the turn. It was perfect. So Max secured the win by not only, of course, most importantly, getting past on lap 1.
Yeah.
But he had to defend a little bit with Oscar.
A little.
But there really wasn't much. I mean, there of course was the overtake. Lando did get Charles after he got overtaken. And then from there back, it was like a DRS train.
It was.
And there's only like, 14, 15 laps and that's it. So the sprint race could have been an email.
Yeah, it was 14 laps. It could have been an email.
Definitely could have been. So yeah. So let's talk about the race.
Oh, sure. Since we've kind of briefly only talked about the qualifying, but yes, the race. Big thing. I was excited, got up early. It was raining.
Which was okay for me because I had to work.
Yeah. They were saying it was going to clear up, and then they were going to run it. And then they
lied.
They lied.
And they were like, let's wait. We don't like rain. And
so I'm curious on what other people too think. I think and I heard Martin Brundle say is that I think they waited too long. They could have started it like 10 minutes earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and got a little bit more of the wet wool tire down, I guess. I wonder what you think, because they have started earlier. Because it was...
I mean, I think we saw, like,
sun was out.
The previous race in Silverstone, the rain was worse than this weekend.
It was.
And it's like, we're picking and choosing, like, what conditions we want to race in, you know, and I think there was spray at the start of the race, for sure, but the visibility was fine. And I think, I mean, obviously, Max and Lewis they both enjoy driving in the rain, and they both were like, it was a shame that they didn't start the race. Because you really get to see the caliber of people and how they can drive in the wet.
It equalizes everything. Everyone says it.
Yeah, and it does create like some interesting races. Obviously, strategy and all of that stuff, but
you're saying it right, and it makes the whole team. It makes the tire strategy even more lucrative when it does begin to dry and the exact time to do it.
And you have to be, what did they say to George last weekend? We want to take a gamble, but we don't want to be suicidal. So you have to know what the fine line is and when you want to pull the trigger.
And every day and every track is different. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's crazy. You're right.
Yeah, so, but it probably could have, it definitely could have started. That's the thing, in Spa, like you talked about earlier, it gets a bad gamble because it does rain there a lot.
And it is dangerous coming up that hill.
And there have been a lot of crazy accidents.
There has.
Unfortunately, people, have passed away from some of these serious accidents. So I understand wanting to be cautious too, but also, they never run the wet tires. Like, it's almost like anytime when they're forced to start under wet tires, they will. I mean, they raced in Brazil last year, and that shit was like unmanageable to drive in.
Yeah, and it got red flagged too, didn't it? If I remember correctly.
Dude, remember qualifying was on Sunday before the race, and like everyone crashed out. Like Alex Albon couldn't even compete in the race. Like those conditions were like a mess. This weekend, probably a little bit more manageable to have maybe started with a 30-minute rain delay, not a 90-minute.
It was pretty much 90 minutes, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, it was. Yeah,
and then 4 laps under the safety car.
Yeah, which I think is okay. They're the best that dry the track out, right? And I don't mind the extra safety laps. And then that's the dealer's choice, or it's the FIA's choice of whether they want to do a standing start or a rolling start. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of it, they're just like, it's going to be a rolling start, but then they have the debate of whether it might not change, you know what I mean? And they kind of like let it extend it out a little bit longer with like probably the 4th lap before they said, no, we're just going to roll it.
Yeah.
And years past, it's been a standing start. Mm-hmm. This year, it's kind of been less standing starts, more rolling starts. I think this is our second one, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, there's been many rolling starts, but
I know. But like at the start of the race, you know what I mean? Not just which is kind of it turned out okay. It turned out the racing was okay. Mm-hmm. That's because, unfortunately, depends how you see it. I know we probably have some fucking Lando Norris fans, and that's fine. He's a good driver, but his wet driving skills are a little off, and you can go watch the onboards of Oscar Piastri, and you can see him because he had the complete start once the yellow flag started, or once the safety car left. That he was slipping and sliding. The rear end was kind of messing around. Yeah. And when once he started the lap, it was on. Came around turn 1. Mm-hmm. Just slight mistake. I mean, the slightest. You can barely tell.
I mean, one would say that too. Like the F1 TV. Like, they just cut to every mistake that Lando made. Like, it was like, oh, here's Lando locking up again. Oh, here's a little wiggle from Lando.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, for most of the race, Lando was chasing, mm-hmm. and
he had a pit stop.
He made a good
call.
I would say he made a good choice on going to the hards with the team and being offset compared to the other guys, where the other guys had to be more tire conscious and probably had to push a little less, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas he was able to bring it, and that would have made it a really good time. So yeah, I can see why F1, that was probably the biggest drama as far as after lap 11 was watching Lando try to catch back up because of the mistakes that had happened from the pit stop being kind of mistaken. What else did he have? He had like another mistake too before the.
I mean, he locked up a few times. That
Yeah.
cost him some. I mean, he was getting down to within 3 seconds at the end, and then he locked up. Then it was 4 seconds. So, but I've watched a lot of fans, and they'll take it one way or the other. But obviously, a lot of people are like, dude, like they're just showing all this like bad shit, and then it's like Lando sucks, and so there's a lot going on out there. But Oscar drove a great race, and I think he had a little bit of extra juice after Silverstone, and kind of having the race win taken away with the 10-second penalty. Was it too harsh? We're not going back to that, but I never said it was. But there's a lot of tension between Oscar fans and Lando fans currently.
I mean, that's too bad.
And if Lando would have won this weekend, it would have closed the gap to like 2 points. And
now it's 16.
And now it's extended again. Oscar obviously P2 in the sprint, Lando P3, Oscar P1, Lando P2 in the race. So, I mean, there's still literally like, McLaren won too. So McLaren fans, I mean, it's another huge win.
It is a huge win, and you're right. And
I mean, they're like 200 something points ahead of Ferrari. They're gonna probably win the constructors in like 5 races. So unless summer break comes and goes, and there's some wild upgrades,
I don't know how they can't lose the Constructors' Cup at this point. They're
gonna win.
Second place.
You don't know how they can.
Yeah, I don't know how they can lose.
They can't.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's over at that point for the constructors. But yeah, so yeah, it's proof that Lando just struggles a little bit in the wet weather. Made some mistakes. Oscar said it the day before, that it's the worst pole position in Formula One, and it's not the worst. It's one of the worst because it has such a shitty P2 is a spot.
Yeah.
And you saw it again. I'll take it back to when they were doing the 4 laps. So Lando was going over into where his position was in case they wanted to do a standing start, and he was trying to clear it off. And he saw a couple other drivers behind him that were on that side of the road for those positions for starting, that they were trying to clear it off as well, because there was debate about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I think they could have started and made it more interesting probably earlier.
Yeah.
But also, sure, we need the driver into the safety car to clear the track a little bit more after waiting for 90 minutes. It just seems kind of crazy.
It's just because you didn't get to see the very start of it, like before the rain delay or whatever. And
I saw it was raining.
No, I know, but it was like light, and they could have probably went at this normal start, dealt with the rain for the race.
Yeah, I think part of it too is you run the risk of how much rain are you going to get.
They didn't really know, and they probably were worried. And you're not.
If you run the ticker, then the time clock is running.
Correct.
So it's like, do we want to have a shorter race and end on time, which is stupid, and we've seen it in the past, or do we want to take the gamble of seeing when it's going to be physically better for them to actually start? So, listen, it is what it is. It's still made for an interesting race. We had obviously a battle brewing for P1 and P2. We even had the battle between Max and Leclerc. Like, obviously, there was some momentum. I think it wasn't as interesting of a race as some of our other ones have been. And I think Spa, historically, there's been good racing, but the last few years, I just don't feel like it's been in my top 5.
As far as racing, I guess you're right.
I'm not surprised to see it on a rotation.
Sure, you're not wrong. I think there is an issue with why they can't pass without it being inclement weather. I think there is a reason that they need to maybe figure that one out, because you hear the old timers talk about the bus stop, and now it's not the bus stop anymore because it's not the same kind of chicane, and it was a different setup, right? And maybe they need to revert and get rid of that last chicane at the very end there and just make it a straight line all the way to turn 1. I don't,
I mean, it's a cool track. Listen, it's not that it's not, but, I just think we see some fun overtaking tracks.
We do.
So.
But then again, you look at this weather, you look at people, how they drive, equal everything out.
Sure.
And then you look at what Lewis did, coming from essentially P18, P17. P17, and from the pit lane, which was the right move for those teams. They made the right call by adding the new engine, doing the pit lane start because of the rain and the starting behind the.
And I mean, you're essentially in last anyway. So what's the gamble?
But during a normal start, you have to wait till everybody clears.
Correct.
Then you go, right? So this just allowed everybody to be all even up. So it didn't even. It was a perfect call for that.
Yes.
Gave Lewis, my opinion, the fastest car on track, which they said showed him just kind of. He did what? It was 3 cars in 1 lap. Went from P17 to I think it was P12,
P11,
P13,
P11.
Was it P11?
In 10 laps.
In 10 laps.
1 lap with 3 overtakes.
And then he was the first person to pit for the softs.
Yeah, he got it right. It's unfortunate, and it's like, obviously he was driver of the day, great race, great overtaking, a lot of highlighted moments.
Good call for the team and good.
But it's always unfortunate. Like, he even said it. He was like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, qualifying was poor. Because what could he have done, with a good qualifying position?
Yeah,
P4.
They wouldn't have used that engine. They would have had a different engine in, and who knows if he would have been able to do all those crazy overtakes like that. I don't know that either. You're right.
I mean,
Bo's being in the better
he's
position.
in a Ferrari in P18. I think he's gonna overtake some people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
and it's Lewis Hamilton. So
yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see him up front near the up front area.
Yeah,
and
I think, and then obviously with the ever surmounting issues, he was having fuel level issues at the end, so he wasn't able to put as much pressure on Alex Albon. So it's like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was watching some of his audio and like during from lap to lap, and he was getting like under a second, getting to like almost a half a second behind, and then he's like, "Can I push?" And they're like, "No, you will continue to lift and coast," and then he'd be back about a second and a half, and then Alex Albon would make a slight mistake, and Lewis would be able to kind of get back within that second or right under it again. And it's like, can I push? And no. So that's kind of, he was having definitely lift and coast issues.
right.
There was a couple other drivers that had that same thing. I think they were expecting more weather.
Everybody. So that's the thing is, like, I think Max Verstappen is a perfect example. Sets up the car, not in Silverstone, not for rain. It rains, gets screwed. This weekend, sets up the car for rain.
Doesn't rain.
90-minute rain delay, and doesn't get to drive his car in the conditions that he set up for. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't type of thing, Because look at Max in the sprint race, not raining conditions, wins,
Yeah, I mean, he was P2, got the slipstream, was able to stay in front, regardless of the pushes and the attacks that they tried to do. It just, it didn't.
Yeah. He said the team can always count on him to make it happen.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so,
him in a halfway decent car.
is that like, that's just such a Max.
I said it already. This is not the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think we've talked about enough Ferrari drama for the weekend.
Tell me more. Tell me some other drama then.
I mean, kudos to Charles on the podium again. Interestingly enough, the podium was, every driver on the podium has won 8 races. Norris, Charles, and Piastri now. So
yeah, Piastri on the fastest to attain those 8 races.
Yes, and Lewis and Oscar are the only drivers to have secured points at every race weekend this year. So that's kind of cool. And I think Piastri's at a 45 race win points streak.
Wow,
a third most.
That kid is really good, man. He's
calm under pressure.
Yeah, he's gonna be tough. Lando has to, in order for Lando to really beat him, confidence and just focusing,
he can't put it in his own head
and making those little mistakes.
And
that's what it comes down to. Is like, you watch previous years and you watch what Max does on track, and 72 laps, 54 laps, 56 laps, doesn't matter. Like, 0 mistakes, maybe 1. Like, and as far as like, it shifted a gear quite wrong. You can't have overspinning your rear tires, kind of fishtailing, whatever you guys want to call it, out of turns like that. You just can't make those mistakes. You can't go deep. You can't lock up. You can't go off the road. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's tough to make those mistakes and make multiple ones in one race. You're not going to be first, and you don't see Oscar Piastri doing all those mistakes.
I mean, we've seen him make some mistakes, but I think, listen, I think Oscar is cool, calm, and collected. I think he holds it together well. I'm not saying that there's not a championship battle on the table.
16 points. Of course there is.
There definitely is. The McLaren team is not doing team orders. They've already made that very clear. And, I think when push comes to shove, there's still a lot of time on the table. But Lando has to not allow certain things to affect him. And, we know he can win races. He has to put it all together. So.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. A lot more to come. A little over halfway. Just started over the halfway point. So we'll see where it shapes up in a couple more weeks. Let's briefly talk about some other drivers. Alex Albon finished, what was that, 5th? 6th. Thank you.
George Russell was.
Oh yeah, he made that. That's right.
Yes.
George kind of feeling a little stuck in his positions lately. It seemed like he couldn't really go much.
He's not happy with it. He said he doesn't know where the decrease in performance over the last couple of race weekends has come from. A lot of talk around Mercedes, obviously. But George is still in contention all the time. So, yeah. But I just don't think they have the race pace. That's really what they struggle with.
Seems like because Antonelli, he's struggling with qualifying too, and then tough to get really up there. They both are struggling since what was it? They both were since Antonelli got points or on the podium.
In Canada?
In Canada, he hasn't really been doing great.
He's had some mechanical issues. He's had some poor qualifying.
Bad luck, and so a little bit of both.
But he was openly emotional post qualifying out in Q1, and emotional in the media pen. So Do you
know the reason why he was emotional? I didn't see it.
Because he messed up and
he put the blame on himself.
Yeah, and so but we also need to keep in mind because the media is running with this. He was signed too early. Toto shouldn't have taken this gamble on him. He's 18 years old and he has definitely a lot of surmounting pressure on him. And he's learning, for the first time. So give the kids some grace.
Yeah, I used to say a couple years ago, like, you need to give a rookie driver at least 2 to 3 seasons to fully develop. After the second season, if doesn't seem like they're developing, then I think it's...
Yeah, for sure. Listen, they're professional athletes. They're the 20 best drivers in the world. Like, you can't give them that much time, but you can't be Red Bull. You know what I mean?
You can't be Red Bull.
So, but we've seen him do some great things, some exceptional things. So he'll bounce back. But
yeah.
I definitely think, Alex, to your point, great weekend.
Had a good
did qualify P5,
yeah,
which was impressive. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Carlos, not so great, weekend.
Which is tough because I like practice if I'm remembering correctly, he looked good. But then he qualified, messed up, or something. I can't blame.
Williams has the good straight line speed, so I feel like on a track like this, it works for them. But yeah, Carlos was out in Q1, just not good qualifying.
And he's had some struggles with the last previous races too.
People got it right. Some people waited till the end, and it really worked in their benefit. Alex was definitely one of them. Made it through to Q3 by the skin on his teeth, and then put it on one of the last laps, which also. That's the lap that we missed during qualifying because we were watching Lando's mom.
Yeah, which is another thing. I appreciate the coverage, but the time has expired. Let's finish watching some
more drivers.
Let's watch the other. Let's watch the other drivers. That's why we're watching it. That's what we're here for. And granted, Alex Albon did not take over pole, and it didn't really matter for pole position, but it still mattered. We would have. I still wanted to watch it. I still want to watch other people's times too. So
yeah, there's some questionable times where it's like you're down to the wire and you don't know if your driver's going to make it through to the next session, and they're on a fast lap, and unless you're watching their onboard, you don't even know if they're going because their time's not up on the screen. So it's crazy. But Alex had a great weekend. Great race, great qualifying. So. It just shows Williams' progression and moving into the new era. I think they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how well they're going to do.
Yeah, because Carlos will come into form. It's just he's in a new team, new engine, a lot of new factors. So like all the other drivers that have had changes, I think we have to give them some time.
Yeah, yeah. And then, we kind of briefly talked about Yuki. He had a good qualifying, but the race didn't really pan out very well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fell back behind, didn't really time some things well. Quickly, Racing Bulls, they were in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good qualifying.
Uh-huh. Hadjar, not a great race.
Not a great race, tough race. And then strategy calls were tough. Like once Lewis made that call to slicks, the people that were right behind him, there was like the people that he passed, they kind of all followed him in on the same time. But then all the front runners, they waited for like his first maybe sector, half of the second sector, as you were watching like all the little micro sectors, and you could see once he got the tires warmed and was in the dry spots, he was clearly faster.
Yeah.
And it was pretty impressive to see that next thing you know, they made the call, come on in. And the problem with McLaren is that they were fighting 1-2. They were within like the 3-second window that you need. And you couldn't have them both pit at the same time without truly affecting Lando's race. And maybe, personally, I think they probably could have double stopped at that time, sacrificed that 1 extra second, and still probably would have had a better pit stop. Plus the loss of time that he had to do the one more lap around on the, and then the shitty pit stop that they had.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I know it's always kind of things you can look back at and think like that, but yeah, I think we've talked about a lot with those. We saw some good things that happened with some teams. We saw Racing Bulls kind of suffer. What else am I missing? I'm missing something?
No, I don't think so.
All right. That's good to know.
I mean, I don't think so. There's a lot of shit to unpack from this weekend.
Always.
I'm like, the only other thing worth mentioning for me is that we did get the sprint calendar leaked this week for 2026.
We did. I didn't know that. I didn't even hear that. You posted that?
I did, yeah.
Oh, what is it then? Tell me, Sam.
And obviously, we have some repeat, we have some newness, and we have some, been there before, but we're going back. So we have Miami.
Is a sprint?
With China. We're going back to Silverstone for a sprint. We have Singapore.
Okay. And US?
No. What's the last one? Why am I blanking on the last one?
Well, it's like Abu Dhabi or Mexico City, Brazil.
I'm not going to listen, worth noting for me would be, why the fuck are we going to Singapore with a sprint race?
Why, you don't like to eat?
You literally can't overtake in Singapore.
I know.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
And why did we get rid of Austin and keep Miami as a sprint race? Literally, Austin is like such a better track, more exciting. There's no overtaking in Miami. The sprint race, yeah, we got some rain this year, and it was kind of exciting from a strategy when they like switched to that. But Miami over Austin? Singapore over Brazil? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's just leaked. It hasn't been officially confirmed by F1. But it's questionable. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Well, that's the big news. Because I didn't really know that it got dropped. She didn't even tell me until now. So that's, I'm sure you guys all knew because you guys follow it way more than me, apparently. But yeah, so we're on a back-to-back doubleheader before the official summer break.
Yes.
We are
going to Hungary.
We are going to Hungary, which Lewis likes. He's won it 9 times or something crazy.
He's been on pole
9
times. He won his first race in Hungary in 2012 with Mercedes. So I think it's been a special place.
Yeah.
And I think, it's a track that he likes. It's a track that a lot of drivers like.
They do. And honestly, for me as a fan, it's not my most favorite, but there probably are some good overtaking. So hopefully it'll be enjoyable. I'm the guy that likes to watch a little bit of rain. And
we've known it to rain in Hungary before.
True. And I like that little bit of extraness because it adds a little spice, as they say, and I think that is good, and it shows the real driver's capabilities. I don't necessarily always need it to be dry, but I'm excited. It's only a week away. By the time we get this, it's only probably a day away. So, yeah. So I don't know what else I got for you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Like a petition to keep Nico Rosberg as an announcer of Sky Sports every weekend. I'm like, he
asks the good questions.
Good questions. Like you saw him this weekend. It was great with Jos Verstappen. Like, how you feeling about Christian Horner? You asked for him to be fired last year, and he's like, no comment. So
Yeah.
it was great. We had a lot of fun things happen this weekend. You know, we had the Hans Zimmer opening title,
Which I still have yet to see. I saw it on social media, but I did not
it
see
was
it.
everyone was like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Don't be a hater."
Yeah. We've said it before. We've said it personally that we liked it. We would like to see it plays at that. It's cool.
Yeah,
They did it. Thank you.
It was cool that they did it. I mean, I don't know if Hans Zimmer was there. We have seen him in Spa before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's on tour right now too. So,
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things. But I'm excited for another race weekend.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
And we'll have another one of these right away for you guys too. If you've made it this far, 45 so minutes into this thing, thank you very much. You guys are listening to us. We want to know what you guys thought of the weekend. We want to know the odds of the race. What do you guys think of the Christian Horner thing? Do you think Max is gonna go or stay? We think stay.
We think stay.
I guess one last thing before we really get going. Driver of the day was Lewis. Who was your driver of the day?
I mean, I think it has to be Lewis.
It was Lewis. I want to know what your guys' driver of the day was. It was definitely Lewis. So I guess until next time, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Bye.